A very good afternoon to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. What is the first snippet over here? Self-censorship. It is about a particular movie and it talks about censorship, but self means those who have taken the movie, they must have gone in for censorship. Based on that, self-censorship. Empuran undergoes 24 voluntary cuts. Undergoes means to experience. Voluntary cuts means not imposed by someone. They themselves made the cuts. Based on that, the word voluntary. Otherwise, nothing to learn, simple words. Now, let us go to the second snippet. Here we have a snippet, you can see. Bilateral relations. It is about Sai calls for increased strategic mutual trust. Increased strategic mutual trust. All are simple words, but you have to recollect based on strategic mutual trust. Strategy. You all know as students, strategy means what? What comes to your mind? Plan. How to prepare for an exam? What is your strategy? But in this context, it deals with the defense. When we say strategic studies, it goes with the defense. It has a different meaning. And if you talk to a political science student, if you mention the word strategic, he thinks of that defense related. A common man, a layman thinks of plan. Strategy means what? Plan. It is about the defense mutual trust. Coming to the next snippet, significant reduction. We have got this word many a time. What is the meaning of significant? Important. Significance, importance. Reduction. Reduction in what? 6 districts most affected by LWE Shah. A statement given by Shah, and it says 6 districts most affected. Our students know this. Many a time we have got affect, affected, affected. It's a regular verb. And effect can be a noun, can be a verb. But usually it is used as a noun. I'm sure all of you know that. We have got many a time. What is the next snippet over here? Data point, regional disparities. There's one important word, disparities. What is the meaning of disparities? Differences. Here when we say regional differences, simple word, simple expression, better disparities. Regional disparities, richer states could lose political clout in delimitation. There's one important word here, political clout. We have got a few times. Very good. What does it mean? Differences. Discrepancies, yes. Pavani, Naidu, and Majnu. And we have got this word many a time. Clout means power. He has a clout. Clout means what? Exact word, power. Who is that? Ara, exactly. Political clout means political power. Richer states could lose political clout, political power in delimitation. Because of delimitation, some states, richer states, they may lose, potentially is there to lose political clout. And when you see the word, here we have another word, lose. You have to recollect, lose is a verb. Lose, lost, lost. But if you take L-O-O-S-E, lose, that is an adjective. Here it is a verb. Lose opposite tight. And we have another word you have to recollect, loss, opposite profit. All the words you have to recollect. Yes, you could also recollect that word, lose, lost, lost, lose, tight, rags to riches. Based on the word rich, I guess you have come up with that. That's very good. Coming to the last snippet, dominant display. Dominating factor, dominant display, show. PBKS puts on a regal show against LSG. Here there's one important word. What is that? Regal. Puts on a regal show. What is the meaning of filthy rich, stinking rich, affluent societies? You have to recollect. What is the meaning of regal? No, only for today and perhaps tomorrow also. Otherwise, the regular time is 9 a.m. And regal means royal. Royal. Royal, you have to think of another word, noble. Noble has two different meanings. When we say a horse is a noble animal, what does it mean? A royal animal. And when we say noble, another meaning, good. He is working for a noble cause, means a good cause, a different meaning altogether. Now let us go to the main headline today's paper. What does it say? We have two, in fact. First one, 21 killed in explosion at firecracker warehouse. All these are familiar words: explosion, firecracker, warehouse. Some explosion in that fireworker warehouse, and what is the impact, negative impact? 21 people got killed. Otherwise, nothing to learn as such, but when you read the article, here, out of hand, you may come across some important words. For example, what is it? Debris at the site. Debris, the letter S is silent, means the small, small parts you come across. If it is a building, imagine a building has been devastated, demolished, or pulled down, then you can use the word rubble, exactly, Naidu, rubble, and debris, S is silent. Now, coming to the next headline, what does it say? Bulldozing of 6 homes in UP's Prayagraj, inhumane and illegal. There's one important word. Inhumane, illegal. Who says that? The Supreme Court. Ruin, spoil. Ruin means spoil. Ruins, remains of a monument. Usually it goes with who is this Banu? That's right. Remains of a monument, we use the word ruins. It is used as a noun. But ruin can also be a verb. As a verb, what does it mean? To spoil. He has ruined the party. What does it mean? He has spoiled the party. Coming to this one, inhumane, humane means there are two words you have to know. One is human, humane. Humane means a kind. Inhumane means a not kind, in a way cruel. Exactly, morally, very good. But you have to recollect another word based on humane. What is that word? They have given a few times. Urban, urbane. Urban opposite rural. But what is this word urbane? Like human, humane. Humane means kind. Urbane means sophisticated, civilized, polished, refined. All these words you have to. Yes, sophisticated, refined, polished, civilized, and urbane. They all mean the same. Urbane they have given many a time. Coming to the snippets over here, Waqf bill likely to have clause to not alter land status. Clause, a condition. You all know as, because you are here for proficiency in English, many of you know the words, phrases and clauses. There the meanings are entirely different. But in this context, when we say there's a clause regarding something, it means there's a condition. What does it mean? There's a condition. Some condition to not alter land status. Coming to the next snippet, Karge asked government to immediately begin the census. To begin the census, there is a demand, an appeal, an urge from the Congress. It is about that. All simple words. Coming to the next one, US flags India's burdensome requirements. There's one important word, though we have got many a time. Flag. To mark something as important as a problem or something that to be considered at a later stage. Flag something. As a verb, a different meaning. As a noun, a different meaning. As a noun, everyone knows. But as a verb, it is important. As usual, every day, the Hindu front page, we have a colorful pic. But today, not the regular representing the culture, a different pic altogether. Let us see what it says. Closing in. Closing in has two different meanings. One meaning, you want to catch someone and you're very close to catching that person, closing in a way surrounding. And in this context, closing in goes with security forces during an operation in Kathua, Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday to track down 3 hiding militants. Means sooner or later, within no time, they are going to catch those 3 militants or the terrorists, hiding militants, closing in. Means very soon they're going to catch. We have two more headlines here. Tariff scare spooks markets. Sensex plunges 1,390 points. There are two important words. One is spooks, the other one plunges. Spook has two different meanings. One meaning, it means a ghost, a spirit. But here, another meaning, what does it mean? It means to, here, look at the context. Tariff scare spooks markets, means frightens. What is the other meaning of the word spook? Frighten. One meaning, ghost or spirit. Another meaning, to frighten someone or something. Plunge means to go down suddenly. We also use the word plummet, plunge, dive, nosedive. All these words we should recollect. Two important words we have. Coming to the last headline, court orders police to file FIR and investigate Delhi Minister Kapil Mishra's role in 2020 riots. Riots means clashes. I'm sure you all know. Yes, very good, Murli, plummet. All these words we have got many a time and they should be at your fingertips. Who is this Venkatesh? Clamp down, suppression, repression, control. Good, I appreciate. That's all from the front page of today's The Hindu paper. Let us go to today's editorial. As usual, if you ask a question, what is the benefit, what is the enrichment, if I watch this video, be part of this session, you will improve your comprehension skill, contextual awareness, effective vocabulary, and consolidate your grammar knowledge. Besides, you can work on mini mocks. Now let us start with editorial vocabulary. A few important words are there. What is the first one? Woes. Means what? Serious problems, we use this word. Our regular students know all these words, but every day we have new students. They should also learn. So I have brought this word. Part of speech, noun, plural form. Great sorrow, distress, or trouble. Severe problems, we use this word. Not simple problems, but severe problems. And here you have to recollect, look at great sorrow, distress, or trouble. Example, the economic crisis added to the financial woes of the struggling nation. There is a nation that is struggling financially and adding something like fuel to the fire. The economic crisis added to the financial woes or problems of the struggling nation. And when you see the word crisis, you have to become alert. Crisis singular, what is the plural? Crisis. That you should. Extreme sadness, we use the word melancholy. Who is this Majnu? Very good, I appreciate it. Melancholy, to be in the blues. Word forms, woe singular, woeful, adjective, woefully, adverb. These forms are used. Do you have to remember the word forms? Coming to word combinations, financial woes are typical combination. Economic woes also you should remember. Personal, rarely we use. Political woes. All the combinations you have to remember. Word usage used to describe serious troubles or difficulties, often in an emotional or economic context. Usually this goes with two dimensions. One is financial or economic, the other one personal, emotional. Synonyms, misery. When we use the word distress, then you have to think of misery, suffering, anguish. But anguish means what? Pain. Severe pain, we use the word anguish. We also use the word agony. Distress, hardship. Antonyms, happiness, joy, relief, comfort, and fortune. All positive words. Reiterate. I use this word quite often. I would like to reiterate. What does it mean? Stress. Stress something. Part of speech, verb, it's a regular verb. To say something again, often for emphasis or clarity. I say something repeatedly. Then every time I say that, I may start with the expression, I would like to reiterate. Means I would like to emphasize. Emphasis or clarity. Example, the teacher had to reiterate the instructions to ensure everyone understood. Imagine there is a teacher, he has to tell the instructions, and the teacher may read out the instruction twice or thrice, may reiterate to make sure everyone understands. Reiteration, noun form. Reiterative, adjective. Word combinations reiterate a point, important expression, a statement, important, reiterate concerns, means some apprehensions, reiterate support. Word usage used in formal or serious discussions when emphasizing a point or repeating for clarity. When something has to be emphasized, how do we do that in English? We use this word. Synonyms are repeat, restate, emphasize, echo, reaffirm. All simple words. Withdraw, retract, suppress. In a way, not exactly. Ironical. Ironical also we have got many a time. Our students, regular students know. Immediately they come up with the other word. What is the other word? Paradoxical. Part of speech adjective meaning happening in a way that is contrary to expectations, often with an element of humor or sarcasm. Sarcastic means what? You say something but you don't mean. You mean opposite. Then sarcastic. Paradoxical. Yes, Murli. Example, it was ironical that the firefighter's house caught fire. What is the irony here? Firefighter's house caught fire. That is paradoxical. That is ironical. Word forms, irony, ironically. Both the forms are used. Word combinations, ironical remark, ironical situation, ironical twist. Where is it used? Word usage, less commonly used than ironic, often used to describe situations, remarks, or attitudes that contradict expectations. Need not be expectations all the time. Imagine there's a situation where both positive and negative they exist at the same time. Then we use paradoxical situation. Both positive aspect and negative aspect they exist same time. Paradoxical. Synonyms, sarcastic, paradoxical, mocking, wry. This is an important word you have to remember. Antonyms, literal, straightforward, sincere. Pittance. Have you heard of this any time? Wry smile, very good, Naidu. Sarcastic smile. That's a typical combination. Have you heard of this word, pittance? Part of speech noun, a very small amount of money or something that is inadequate, means a meager. Example, he worked hard but was paid only a pittance, means a meager amount. How? Pittance means what? A little, meager amount. No word forms, none commonly used. Word combinations, a mere pittance. Mere means a sheer. Usually I say sheer waste of time. Mere pittance, earn a pittance, paid a pittance, meager pittance. All these combinations you have to remember. Word usage used to describe inadequate payments, wages, or allowances. Synonyms, meager, sum, triple. Triple is an important word. Peanuts, crumbs, but they have other meanings. You all know the word peanuts, peanut butter. You also know crumbs, bread crumbs. But in this context, a different meaning, a little. Antonyms, fortune, abundance, wealth, bounty is an important word. Something like very good, large scale, a gift, nature's bounty, we say. That's an important word. Feasible. I use this quite often. What is the meaning of feasible? Feasibility means possibility. Feasible means possible. Part of speech adjective, meaning possible to do or achieve, practical and realistic. Practical, you should also recollect the word pragmatic. Viable. Usually, tomorrow you become a banker. Someone approaches with a project, asks for a loan. Then first thing you see whether it is commercially viable or not viable. Commercially viable, an important combination, means what? Commercially feasible. The government is working on a feasible plan to improve public transportation. Practical plan. Word forms, feasibility, noun, we use this. Feasibly, rarely we use adverbial form. Word combinations, feasible solution, feasible plan, feasible option, feasible proposal. Word usage used when discussing whether something can be realistically accomplished. When we talk about a particular project, we try to weigh the pros and cons. We discuss whether it is going to happen or not happen. Then, in that context, we talk about feasibility. Feasible has nothing to do with absurd. Who is this Banu? How are they related? Synonyms: achievable, practical, workable, viable, realistic. Antonyms: impractical, impossible, unrealistic, unworkable. Why absurd here? Absurd means ridiculous. What is the next one? Comprehensive. We have got this many a time. I usually give 3 words. Imagine you are talking about syllabus. Then you have to think of 3 words touching all the dimensions. Someone designs the syllabus. Then we have to use words like comprehensive, exhaustive, holistic. All the 3 words are very important. Part of speech adjective, covering all aspects or including everything necessary. Example, the university offers a comprehensive curriculum in business studies. Curriculum means syllabus. Today we talk about extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities, extracurricular, beyond the syllabus, beyond the curriculum, and co-curricular, related to the syllabus. What exactly comes under co-curricular activities? One is public speaking, another is writing, essay writing. They come under co-curricular activities. Elocution, spelling-related competitions, they are part of co-curriculum. Word forms: comprehensiveness, comprehensively. We use these forms. Word combinations: comprehensive study, plan, and typical example: syllabus. Yes, Murli. Syllabus singular, syllabi plural. That also you have to recollect. Comprehensive knowledge, comprehensive approach. All these are typical combinations. Word usage used to describe something that is thorough and complete. Synonyms: extensive, all-inclusive, exhaustive, thorough, broad. Antonyms: limited, partial, narrow, superficial. That's all about editorial vocabulary. Now let us go to today's editorial. How does it start? What is the stimulus? Pension woes means what? Problems, troubles related to pension. An important editorial. You may get as a passage. And what is the main idea over here? The center must bring in transparency in scrutiny of pension claims. Some important words are here. First one, the center must. What are the functions of must? It has 2 different functions. I have told many a time. What is the first one? It is used to express an obligation imposed by the speaker or the writer. In this context, obligation imposed by the writer, the editorial. Other function, it is used to convey the idea something is compulsory. The center must do what? Bring in transparency. Means everything should be open. They should not hide anything, conceal anything. Related to what? In scrutiny of pension claims. Scrutinize, to study thoroughly, examine thoroughly. Very good. Of pension claims. Not easy to understand. You have to read the editorial. Only then you will be able to. But one thing is sure, it is about center must do something. Transparency. Let us see how it starts. The Standing Committee of Parliamentarians on Labour, Textiles and Skill Development, in its report, here there is one important word. What is that word? This is the subject. The Standing Committee. And committee is an important word. Why is it an important word? It is a collective noun. Immediately you have to recollect 2 rules. Collective nouns usually take a singular verb, a singular pronoun. But if the sentence talks about division, the same collective noun takes a plural verb and a plural pronoun. The Standing Committee of Parliamentarians on Labour, Textiles and Skill Development, in its report, that's why it is in its report, singular, pronoun, on the 2025-26 demand spur grants to the Union Ministry of Labour and Employment, has rightly reiterated the urgent need to revise a minimum monthly pension of 1,000 for member pensioners under the Employees Provident Fund Organization, EPFO. It is about the minimum monthly pension. That is the main idea over here. And a lengthy sentence. Whenever you come across a lengthy sentence, do remember you should read twice or thrice, then it becomes easy to understand. There is a committee and its report says something. On the 2025-26 demands for grants to the Union Ministry of Labour and Employment has rightly reiterated, means what? Emphasized. What? The urgent need to revise a minimum monthly pension of rupees 1,000 for member pensioners under which scheme? Under the Employees Provident Fund Organization. This amount, what is that amount? 1,000. Revise a minimum, that should be revised. The minimum monthly pension of rupees 1,000. This amount, fixed in August 2014 under the Employees Pension Scheme of 1995, has remained unchanged for over a decade. When did they last decide this amount? 2014. Now this is 2025, almost a decade, more than a decade, and it has not changed, remained what? Unchanged for over a decade. But there's one important word you have to focus on. What is that word? We got here. No one has responded. Why is it important? There's an important rule that goes with a possessive case. What is that? Imagine you are talking about a plural noun that ends in the letter S, then we should use the apostrophe after the letter S, not before. Usually we use an apostrophe before the letter S, but if a plural noun ends in the letter S, after S we should use. Here, employees, plural noun ending in the letter S, based on that apostrophe after the letter S, that you should focus on. So the amount has not been changed. Ironically, the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP-led government continues to take credit for the pension hike in 2014, though it merely implemented a decision announced earlier by the Congress-led United Progressive Alliance regime. When they hiked it to 1,000, who took the credit? The BJP took the credit. And what is ironical here, that was actually hiked by the Congress-led UPA. Ironically, paradoxically, the BJP-led government continues to take credit for the pension hike in 2014. Hike means what? Increase, sudden increase. We use the word hike, spike, surge. All the words you should recollect. Though it merely implemented, it did not introduce, it implemented the idea of the Congress-led UPA. Though it merely implemented a decision announced earlier by the Congress-led United Progressive Alliance regime. Regime has two different meanings. What are the two different meanings? One meaning, government, usually authoritative, need not be all the time. Regime, current regime. But another meaning of the word regime, system. Tax regime means what? Tax system. A different meaning altogether. Back in 2014, when the UPA proposed the 1,000 minimum pension, the BJP, which was in the opposition, criticized the move as insufficient. What is paradoxical here? See, whatever I say here, based on the editorial, nothing subjective, nothing personal, purely based on what the editorial says, and it is nothing but objective statements, objective analysis, not subjective. Do remember. What is ironical here, the idea belonged to Congress-led UPA regime, and it was merely implemented by the BJP. But still, back in 2014, when the UPA proposed the 1,000 minimum pension, how did the BJP respond? How did it respond that time? The BJP, which was in the opposition, that time it was in the opposition, criticized the move as insufficient. That time the BJP said insufficient. Now same thing has been implemented. The BJP says it is the party's idea, not the idea of the UPA. That is paradoxical. Its senior leader Prakash Javadekar called it a pittance. and demanded a hike to at least 3,000. The BJP itself said, the leader said it's a pittance, means what? Meager amount. 1,000 is meager amount, and demanded 3,000. At present, the government allocates an average of 980 crore annually. What is the total outlay? 980 crore annually for minimum pension payments. Total is 980 crore. This figure needs to be tripled. 3 times more they have to allocate. Needs to be tripled in order to make it a meaningful increase. If at all they want to increase, they need more amount to the tune of 3 times to 980 crore. Additionally, the center contributes 1.16% of wages, capped at 15,000 monthly wage ceiling, means limit, towards the EPS corpus. Corpus fund, you all know. Corpus fund means what? You collect the amount and you keep somewhere so that it can be distributed later to the stakeholders. That is known as corpus fund. An amount revised to 9,250 crore for 24-25 and expected to cross 10,000 crore in 25-26. It talks about the corpus fund and how it is going to increase. The government's argument is that it cannot afford a further financial burden, but feasible suggestions to manage the additional expenditure have been submitted to the Labour and Finance Ministries and the EPFO. Obviously, if they increase, they have to bear the financial burden. And the government says it cannot afford, an important expression, it cannot afford a further financial burden, but feasible suggestions, possible suggestions to manage the additional expenditure have been submitted. Have been submitted, present perfect passive voice. That also you have to recollect, to the Labour and Finance Ministries and the EPFO. What is this cannot afford? It has two different meanings. If I say, imagine I see an expensive car and someone says, so why don't you buy? Then I may say, I can't afford. Means what? I don't have enough money. That is one meaning. Goes with the financial aspect. But there's another meaning. Imagine I work for an organization and I want to say something against the organization. But if I do that, I may lose my job. Then what do I say? I can't afford to say something against the management. Means I can't take the risk. If I do it, something negative may happen. A different meaning altogether. Equally concerning is the EPFO's handling of applications from those opting for pensions based on higher wages. This one deals with how they're handling of applications from those opting for pensions based on higher wages. Many applicants now receiving demand notices requiring contributions amounting to several lakhs of rupees have been left in the dark. To be left in the dark means what? Not to be informed. Have been left in the dark about their entitled pension amounts and arrears. That means they don't know how much they are going to get, the pension amounts and also arrears. They have been kept in the dark. Means they don't have that information. In several cases, applicants have had to rely on. I have to do something. I have to go. I have to report. Have to, the helping verb, the model. What is a function? It has two dimensions when we talk about functions. One, it is used to express an obligation imposed by an external authority. And second, it is used to express an obligation imposed by a situation. I have to do this, he has to do that. And what is the past form? Had to. Here they have used the past form. In several cases, applicants have had to rely on their online accounts to track updates, as the EPFO has failed to issue any official communication. They had to track online because they haven't received any communication from EPFO. Instead of providing clarity, applicants are expected to calculate their expected pension through a portal-based calculator that comes with a disclaimer and no assurance of accuracy. Imagine how much you have to get, you calculate, but the calculator itself is not reliable. Definitely the purpose is defeated, not acceptable. The situation is worse for member pensioners from exempted establishments where authorities have summarily rejected applications for higher pension and even stopped previously sanctioned higher pensions without proper explanation. All these deal with the various problems, handling of applications, and how much amount they have to get, and there's no clarity regarding the information. Based on that, the situation is worse. For whom? For member pensioners from exempted establishments where authorities have summarily rejected applications for higher pension and even stopped previously sanctioned higher pensions without proper explanations. There have been sanctioned higher pensions but later stopped, and no explanation regarding that. The union government must initiate comprehensive stakeholder consultations. Whoever is involved, we use the word stakeholder. And what is the stand taken by the editorial? I think it ends on that note. What is that? The union government must initiate comprehensive stakeholder consultations, take steps to increase the monthly pension, and ensure the fair treatment of all member pensioners. 3 points. What are the 3 points? 1. Initiate comprehensive stakeholder consultations. Second, take steps to increase the monthly pension. And the third one, ensure the fair treatment of all member pensioners. It ends on that note. Now let us go to. Yes, of course, sanction has 2 or 3 meanings. The loan has been sanctioned, positive connotation, but the country has imposed sanctions against someone or something, some other country, negative connotation. Both meanings are there. What is the main concern highlighted by the Standing Committee in its report on the 2025-26 demands for grants? 1B, the need to reduce allocation, no. The urgent need to revise the minimum monthly pension for EPFO members. That is the main idea. From 1,000, it has to be increased. Why is the BJP-led government's claim of credit for the pension hike in 2014 considered ironic? The BJP claims that, but actually it was initiated by the UPA. So why is it ironic? Because it had originally proposed a higher pension? No. Because the decision was originally made by the UPA government? Hold this one. Because the BJP had always opposed? No. Not at all. So what is the answer here? Again, B is the answer. How did BJP leader Prakash Javadekar react to the 1,000 minimum pension proposed by the UPA in 2014? When the UPA-led government proposed 1,000, how did the BJP leader respond? He fully supported the move? No. He called it a pittance and demanded an increase to 3,000. One is he has used the word pittance. Another, he wanted it to be increased to 3,000. Yes, B is the answer. What is the next one here? What is the current average annual allocation by the government for minimum pension payments? Explicit information based, easy to answer. How many crores? At least one student responds, yes, 980 crore. Answer is B, clearly mentioned. What issue do applicants opting for pensions based on higher wages face? Those who wanted higher pensions, they have faced a few problems. Pensions based on higher wages, some problems have been faced. What are they? Or what is the issue? What is the problem? Processed instantly? No. They received demand notices for large contributions, but no clarity on their entitled pension. Answer is B. Very good. Got it right. What action is suggested for the union government regarding pension reforms? What is the suggestion given by the editorial? Increasing the monthly pension and ensuring fair treatment of pensioners seems okay. Reducing pension amounts, abolishing completely? No. So what is the answer here? A is the answer. No, not B. A is the answer. Very good. Let us go to mini mocks. First one, Error location. Identify the part of the sentence that contains an error. The US government is using surveillance of social media activity as a basis for these revocations. They have been revoking, and what is the justification? What is the criterion behind? You have to read meticulously, only then you can. Casual reading, not possible. The US government, the subject, singular, is using, present continuous, nothing wrong. Using what? Surveillance of social media activity, nothing wrong again. As what? As a basis for these revocations. Nothing wrong. Answer is no error. No, nothing wrong with this. As a basis for these revocation. Answer is, please respect the last option. What is the last option? No error. Nothing wrong with the sentence. Perfect. Yes, who is this? Jayalakshmi says no error. Murli and others also. Majnu. Pillars. The recent actions of the US government have raised concerns about the of free speech rights for foreign nationals. About what? Reinforcement, suppression, preservation, exploitation. Understand the context, then choose the appropriate word. The recent actions of the US government have raised concerns about the reinforcement you cannot use. Then you have to decide. Preservation of free speech rights, exploitation, or suppression. Concerns about the suppression of free speech. So what is the answer? I think you have already answered a lot of students. Very good. B is the answer. Now we have double pillars. Although the First Amendment protects free speech, its application to foreign nationals remains yesterday's editorial. Something not clear. Then what is the idiomatic expression? We say gray area. Based on that, although the First Amendment explicitly, clearly protects free speech, its application to foreign nationals remains a gray area. Hold this one. Implicit certainty, no. Vaguely, no. Broadly, no. What is the answer? A is the answer, not B. Implicitly protects, no. Explicitly. And remains a certainty. You cannot use the word certainty. Answer is, this is a clue for you. Because there's a contrasting word. Although it has been mentioned, something remains vague or ambiguous. Then we have to use the expression gray area. Word usage, the word is abuse. Abuse has three different meanings. One meaning, misuse of power. Another, use foul language, shouting at someone. Third one, to ill-treat someone. But in this context, which sentence it has been used properly? The government decided to abuse new regulations to improve trade. The journalist exposed the politicians' abuse of power. Usually this abuse goes with power. We cannot use this one. Government decided to abuse. Wrong. The teacher abuses the use of technology. No. The beacon of the law prevents abused citizens. Doesn't make any sense. So what is the answer here? B is the answer. Good. What does the phrase rein in mean in the editorial? Reins, a different meaning. Leather straps used to control a horse, but rein in, a phrasal verb. What does it mean? To increase control over something, to let things go freely, to support without restrictions, to monitor passively. Rein in means to control something, to increase control over something. Answer is A. What does the phrase, I think, got repeated? Now, here we have two columns, column A, column B, words and meanings. Exactly, leather straps used to control a horse. Enshrined means what? Legally protected or preserved. Beacon of hope, a guiding source of inspiration. Rein means to control, to restrict or control. Surveillance, close monitoring. I think not difficult because we got all these words yesterday. A is what? Legally protected or preserved, enshrined in the Constitution. Yes. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Tomorrow also it could be same time, but try to check the thumbnail. Then you'll come to know what time we are going to have. Thank you very much.